I understand why there's a lot of FF7 fans who weren't happy with this game's ending, nor its implication for its future parts. A lot of people were just hoping for a faithful adaptation of the game they loved. That's why there's not a doubt in my mind that Nomura and the rest of the creative team were coming up with the concept of the Whispers and how they were going to end the game, that they knew that this was going to displease some fans. They had to know, but they still chose to go along with their decision, even though this decision was going to piss some people off and leave them disappointed. Now, in an interview, one of the devs did say that the remaining parts going forward will be a more faithful representation of the rest of the story. But I feel like that was just PR talk, because according to an interview with Nomura, that might not be the case at all. So I'm not sure. I like to think that we'll be getting a lot of the same key events, but just under different contexts. But we'll just gonna have to wait and see. I choose to be a bit more optimistic and excited with the decision Square is taking the FF7 story in terms of telling it in a fresh new way. I kind of see it in a similar fashion as, say, the Fate Stay Night visual novel, and how its premise was told in different versions. The Fate route, the Unlimited Blade Works route, and the Heaven Feels route. Each have their own timelines, themes, and narratives differing from one another. And this could be the very same thing by starting off this new version of FF7 as a remake, then becoming something very different. For FF7, this is a different route, but told through how many parts Square plans to tell this new story. Now, with that said, I still have my concerns, especially now that the devs have decided to bring certain characters back to life and what they intend on doing with them. Now, if this was a year ago, I would have told you that my biggest concern was that TETSUYA Nomura being hugely involved in this. The reason I say that is because he's also the director of the Kingdom Hearts franchise. As much as Kingdom Hearts has had a lot of charm to it, I really do love that series. Nomura's storytelling isn't the easiest to follow due to how convoluted it can be. Don't get me wrong, he's done a lot of great things for Square Enix creative-wise, but he does have a habit of going a bit overboard. That's why it's difficult at trying to explain the lore of KH to a newcomer without confusing them. And because of that, Nomura's way of telling a story isn't everyone's cup of tea. Now, allow me to clarify something before I get people commenting. Nomura wasn't in charge of the story decisions. Damn, you wasted a lot of that time blaming Nomura. He didn't even write it. Don't even compare this to Kingdom Hearts. Well, here's the thing. I'm not bashing Nomura. I don't hate Nomura. I totally respect the man and all he's done throughout the years. Like I said, I love Kingdom Hearts, and he's the brainchild of it. And I've played enough KH games to tell how Nomura likes to tell his stories in his games. And while I never said this was solely his doing, he definitely played a part in this. It's just that fighting the Harbiters of Fate, their designs looking like a Heartless, gave me huge Cage vibes there, as well as how crazy everything got at the end. Definitely felt more like a Cage game than what the game was trying to be for most of it. You expect me to believe that he had absolutely nothing to do with this? Come on. And yes, I'm aware that Katsuhiro Najima was in charge of the story and scenario for Remake. Nomura still had some creative control behind this project, though. And even if he didn't and had absolutely nothing to do with the ending of the game, you're still missing the point that a lot of people, including me, felt that the ending just felt off. Now, I still love the game, and I have nothing against Nomura or Najima. I just hope going forward that the storytelling don't get too crazy in future parts. But considering the people who are heavily involved in future parts, it might even get even crazier. Again, that's what I would have said a year ago if I hadn't learned that Nomura stepped back as creative director and Nakami Hakasuchi. God, I hope I didn't butcher that name. I probably did, but anyways, he's now the director. With that said, Nomura is still involved in this.